What's up everybody? Today we're going to be making a video for all of you aspiring van lifers or anybody that wants to live van life, or maybe for anybody that lives van life right now, you'll get a laugh out of this. We're basically going to go over all the things we wish we knew before we started van life.
We don't know what this video is called yet, but maybe it's the downsides to van life, or times when van life is not fun.
Yeah, because let's face it, there are downsides to van life. Everything is not sunshine and rainbows. So we are going to list, how many things do we have?
9.
All right, so let's get started. We're gonna show you guys the 9 downsides to van life that we wish we knew before we took it over. Blah, 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 blah. All right, let's get started. We're gonna show you guys the 9 downsides to van life that we wish we knew before we got started. All right. Pooping in a van. If you're living van life, you're probably gonna pee in your van. You're probably gonna poop in your van. If you have a partner, you're probably gonna be pooping and or peeing in front of your partner, or at least in the same van. This is gross. We don't really wanna talk about this, but if you're not putting all of the pieces together and realizing there's situations where you can't get to a toilet, you might not be somewhere where you can jump out and dig a hole. You're definitely gonna run into instances where you either have a toilet set up that is a little bit more sophisticated, or you're gonna be pooping in a bag or pooping in a bucket. None of these things are what you see on social media in relation to #vanlife. So just keep in mind, you're probably gonna poop in a bag at some point. And or you might be cleaning up your partner's poop, right Frank? If you have a dog, you're used to picking up their poops. Maybe it's not that big of a deal to you. Moving on. All right.
So everyone knows that when you're moving into an RV or a van, you have a finite supply of water. That's obvious. But when it actually comes down to it, your water supply is so precious. Every time you want to rinse a piece of fruit, you want to brush your teeth, you want to fill up a water bottle, you have to use your water. When you're in urban environments and you know where your next water fill station is, it's not a big deal. But sometimes when you're traveling, you don't know when you're going to be able to fill up water. So filling up water becomes very stressful, especially if you don't know the next time you're going to have access to clean and purified drinking water.
So basically you become a water snob, you become obsessive. That's one of the reasons that we have a nature's hedge, because it doesn't use any water, whereas cassette toilets use water, a regular toilet uses water. We literally do dishes with probably 2 cups of water.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be amazed at how frugal you become or conservative you become with your water. And that takes us to
Number 3, showering. So if you have a shower in your van, you have the luxury of being able to shower whenever you want. But like we just mentioned, showering uses up your precious water supply. So something I wish I knew before moving into the van is that even with a shower, you're only gonna use it when you absolutely need to. So you have to get used to being a little bit dirtier than you wanna be. Think about how many times you shower per week. On average, I'd say we probably shower in our van about twice a week. So you get really creative at getting yourself clean in other ways that don't use water, but definitely something you should know is that having a shower does not mean you'll be able to use it all the time.
So reason number 4 is your car is now your house, which sounds cool. You can take your house anywhere you want. You can travel to exotic destinations. You can park down the street. You can do anything you want, but so can a burglar. If somebody breaks into your house, maybe they steal some things, but in van life, when somebody breaks into your house, it's somewhat probable that they will drive away with your house. Someone can literally steal your entire house, and you might not ever find it again. That's not something that happens with a regular house. No one can go inside your house and pick it up and move it and take it somewhere where you can't find it. And the worst part is, most of the time insurance companies won't even cover what the vehicle's worth. They won't even cover what you put into the vehicle. They cover the blue book value, which means you might get half of what your van actually is even worth from the insurance company after someone steals your house. This is an added level of stress that a lot of people don't think about.
And number 5 is the step cousin to reason number 4. Someone can crash into your house. In fact, you can crash your own house. This is definitely a huge added layer of stress, and maybe one of the reasons why Trent doesn't like it when I'm driving, because there is a lot of pressure to drive your house. If something happens, everything you own is at stake. Even if you do get into a little fender bender, say your van has to go to the shop. Say it needs to get worked on for a couple weeks, maybe even a month. Where are you gonna live? It poses a lot of problems.
So this brings us to reason number 6. You are always dirty, or you're always cleaning, one of the two. The van is a small space. You get a couple of people, maybe a dog or a cat in that small space. You get dog hair, you get sand, you get dirt. Let's say you're hanging out with your window or the door open and the wind blows and a bunch of dust goes in. It will cover your entire house. You pick up a blanket, you get dust everywhere. Allie is sweeping probably 4 or 5 times a day. She's constantly cleaning the countertop and the floor. She's a little bit of a clean freak, but I appreciate that because our van is always nice and tidy. Don't know what I'd do without her.
Reason number 7 is noise. Now, if you're a light sleeper like me, you're gonna have a hard time sleeping if you are in an urban environment trying to stealth camp. It took me a really long time to get used to the noises of the street. When you're living in a van, you don't have a bedroom to go back to. You don't have a house in a quiet neighborhood all the time. And when you're parked in an urban setting, your bedroom is on the street. Your bedroom is in the middle of the city. There's dogs, there's cars, there's people, there's a lot of noises. It's taken me a really long time to get used to it. You can either have a fan running in the background, I know there's even some apps on your phone for white noise, or you can just kind of learn to get used to it, but definitely something I wish I knew before living in a van is how noisy it can be when you're trying to sleep.
So this brings us to reason number 8. You're really at the mercy of the weather, whether it's hot or cold or raining or snowing. You can't really get out of the elements except for inside your vehicle, but rain is the very worst. The reason rain is the worst is because it makes the inside of your van extremely humid. Everything gets wet. You can't open any windows or doors or else rain and water starts to come in, which means it's hard to get ventilation. And if it rains for days on end, you don't want to go out and get muddy. You don't want to let the dog outside. You're just kind of trapped in this humid car until it stops raining. This is just our personal opinion. Rain sucks. And this brings us to reason number 8, which is height restrictions, or your vehicle is a lot taller than maybe you're anticipating. There's going to be places that you want to go where you can't because of how tall you are, like parking garages or drive-throughs, or some streets where there's low-hanging trees, like this one. So these trees aren't super low, but as you can see, they grow across the street, so you definitely have a possibility of running into them. This is something you have to keep in mind, especially if you have a WeBoost or solar panels or a roof vent fan that's sticking up higher than your vehicle. If you catch that on something, it can cause a lot of damage. So if you're somebody who really likes to shop, especially at the mall, you might run into an issue when you try to get into a parking garage to go pick something up. Just another downside.
So basically, those are 9 things that we wish we knew before moving into the van.
Now these downsides of van life are definitely not outweighed by the positives.
For sure.
There's probably 100 things that are positive about van life, but everybody sees those painted all over social media, and we think these are gonna be the things you'll hate when you're living in a van.
That's true. Everyone on social media posts these beautiful pictures. There's this sense of glamour associated with van life. While there are beautiful locations and amazing experiences that come along with van life, that's not the full story.
Yeah, whenever you see these glamorous pictures, let me just tell you, there's usually a lot of work that goes into taking one of those pictures. You very rarely just pull over at the side of the road, snap a photo, and it's a banger.
That's true. So the intention of this video is not to scare you away from van life. We absolutely love this lifestyle and will continue to travel for as long as we can, but we wanted to make sure that you knew the whole story, the big picture, the good and the bad. Just like all parts of life, there's a balance. You learn how to take it in stride, and I wish I had been warned of these things ahead of time, so hopefully this helps you out.
These are just the things that we find a huge pain in the butt. So hopefully you guys won't be scared away from van life, because we think van life is awesome. We wouldn't trade it for the world, and we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Trent and Allie if you guys haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Oh wait, hit the notification bell as well.
Oh, please.
So you guys get notified when we bring out new videos. Our new series is going to be starting on Monday, so make sure you guys tune in for that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you all, and we will talk to you soon.
See you guys on the next one.
Bye.